Your conference is being recorded.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, this is Dr. Christensen.
Yeah, it's Brandon. Hi.
Hi, this is Alex. Thanks for volunteering to be interviewed. This is a good time to start?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, so I just have a kind of scripted introduction that I'll go through, and then we'll get started with the questions. Sound good?
Sounds good. Yeah.
All right, so my name is Alex, and I'm one of the study's co-investigators. Now, just for the recording, can you state your name, the year of your training, and which program you're in?
Okay, yeah. I'm Brandon Christensen, first year, PGY1 in psychiatry at the University of Toronto.
Great. So our research objective is to gain a better understanding of the experiences of residents enrolled in postgraduate programs that have begun the transition or have completely transitioned to competency-based medical education. Our research question is, the shift to competency-based medical education in Canada, a qualitative study of resident experiences. So for the interview, I will be asking you a series of 10 semi-structured qualitative questions about your experiences of the new competency-based education model, including the impact it has had on your training. If at any time you wish to stop, or if you have any questions, please let me know.
Okay.
And this is the first study of its kind in Canada, and new knowledge will be generated on the implementation of competency-based medical training in Canada postgraduate training programs. It will allow us to gather first-hand knowledge from resident doctors who are recipients of this new training paradigm to analyze the benefits, challenges, general experiences, and best practices of shifting from a purely time-based medical training to one that's oriented using an organized framework of competencies to best prepare physicians for practice. And in terms of the demographics, including postgraduate training year, program specialty, program location, training site, and or undergraduate medical background will not be reported or included in the analysis. Quotes will not be used in our report if they contain any identifiable material, such as dates, names, places, persons, or events. Any questions before we start?
Nope.
All right, so the very first question that we have for you is, what is your understanding of the competency-based medical education model?
I'd say it's an attempt to better align the objectives of the residency program with the actual training experience and ensuring that whatever the learning objectives are or the goals are being assessed more frequently, I guess.
Right. And what, in your understanding, is this model an alternative to?
I guess it's an alternative to a system where this is hard. I guess it's an alternative to a system where you just went through prearranged rotations and you got evaluated at the very end of a rotation and there was less perhaps structured ways of achieving feedback and ensuring that you're meeting the actual, I guess, outcomes that the program that you're in expected you to achieve. I suppose the old system would be more of a generalized picture rather than and maybe sometimes not address the the more nuanced parts of what might be important to achieve in the program.
Okay. Do you have any training experiences or any personal experiences that you can share that underscores or outlines? Or
Yeah, so like I guess like in the program that I'm in, there's still kind of like a bit of a hybrid of things right now. So like we still do like the end of rotation evaluation like ITERs. So you kind of and on rotations where I don't have like CVD, like some of the rotations aren't CVD, I guess, and some are, and on those ones you just like kind of go through your rotation. You might learn some of the objectives that are important, but you might miss other things. So that'd be kind of the old system. And I suppose the new system is trying to, I think, better better make sure that you address the actual like objectives of the rotation, like whatever the like. Let's say a goal was to take a history about something particularly, then that might actually be something you need to like seek out then. Or in the old system, you might never see that presentation or never do that maneuver or whatever the case might be.
Okay. And do you think that the CBME model has resulted in a different learning experience for you as compared to residents in traditional non-CBME training programs?
So yeah, this is a good question because I think in theory, what I described, it should work, but at this point, I'm not sure if I've noticed a huge difference because especially since I can contrast it with like some of the rotations still being in the old system and some of them being in the new system. I think it depends a lot on, I guess, the preceptor that is, or the supervisor that's on the rotation. For example, some of the rotations where they've technically been CBD rotations that I've been on, it hasn't really felt that much difference. And the EPA component, like, was done as more of a, like a checkbox or like something we needed to get done. And it was, I guess, the actual goal of what CBD is, I don't think is really being achieved on some rotations. Because you might complete these, like, for example, some people are like, well, we forgot to do EPAs during the rotation, so let's do 3 at the very end of the rotation while I do your ITER. So that's not really useful or different. And in other cases, there's been times where, you might do an EPA with one preceptor and they very staunchly stick to what the actual like grading criteria on the EPA tool that we have is. Like if you're not entrustable, they might like, for example, if there's sub milestones of the EPA, they might actually like mark things like some of them might be entrustable and some of them not. And some preceptors will do it like following exactly how it should be done, where other ones are just like, yeah, you're a good resident, so I'll give you entrustable, even if perhaps you weren't. Or maybe you did struggle at one domain, but they just kind of approve it, I guess. So I don't know. At this point, I haven't noticed that big of a difference.
Okay. So it sounds like your program has kind of a hybrid of rotations that are CBME and some that are not. So based on the ones that are CBME, what do you think is working well? Or what is working well?
Yeah, what is working well? I think I like sometimes I am getting more feedback, I'd say, as a result of on the CBME rotations. I'd say I'm getting a bit more feedback. Is the feedback much different from other experiences I've had or from non-CBME rotations? Not really. And I find that there's some variability even within CBME rotations. So I'd say the one thing, if I was going to say that is working well, is there's a bit more feedback. But I don't know if I'd say substantially so.
Okay. So, contrary, what elements of your training program, as they relate to CBME, might need improvement?
I think the biggest thing is buy-in from the faculty. It's still like a lot of people in the program don't know about CBME, don't want to do EPAs, don't like that the system is changing. There's times where they're like, we'll do an EPA, but we won't observe you, even though that EPA might need you to be observed at that stage.